Imagine your creative process like a plant. It starts as a tiny seed of an idea, something small, fragile, but full of potential. You give it a moment of attention, a bit of curiosity, and it starts to sprout. You can almost see the shape it might grow into if you just give it the right space. And then reality hits. You open 10 AI tools, 20 tabs, 3 subscriptions, and suddenly that little idea gets lost in the chaos. Before it has a chance to grow, it's buried under screenshots, prompt histories, and scattered notes. FLORA Fauna flips that around. It gives you an intelligent canvas where every model, prompt, image, and a bit of text can live together, branch out, and feed into the next step, like roots, stems, and leaves working in one system. In this video, I'll take one random object and, using FLORA Fauna, grow it into a full visual identity for an imaginary design studio. So let's jump in. So today we'll be trying something really exciting. I'll be working in this tool, or I'll call it a platform, FLORA Fauna, to build up an entire brand for a new imaginary design studio. And FLORA Fauna is really great because it combines all the creative AI tools into this really nice interface and flow where you can connect the different tools and use whatever you create as context within you. It could be image models, language models, like any AI tool that you might already use, but just combined in this really nice interface. I'm quite interested to see, like, with a tool like FLORA, how quickly can we actually build up a new brand for a new imaginary agency. And I'll be using a very simple asset essentially to spark everything, to start everything from, and that is a bag that I'll just show it here. It's a bag that I got at a expo in like a tech conference in Barcelona 5 years ago, I think. And I think we thought the colors are really cool because it's like changing color at the conference. This bag was also really popular. Everyone was lining up to get it. And essentially, I took a picture of this bag, and then I'll use that picture as a context in FLORA to basically build up an entire design studio. So let's get started and see how it goes. Okay, so we are within FLORA Fauna now. So this is the interface, and I imported the image I took of the bag. And automatically it labeled, like FLORA Fauna labeled this image iridescent abstract image, which is pretty descriptive, I guess. So the first we need is a name. So let's try to brainstorm with FLORA Fauna. So what we can do is we can use this, like we can hover our mouse above our asset, and the plus button we can simply press and drag a line. And then we can choose what we want to turn this into. And in this case, we want to turn it into some text because we would like to brainstorm some names from this visual aesthetic style. So we'll write something like, please brainstorm. And let's just try this prompt, and let's just try to limit it to 5 suggestions. Something that's really nice with FLORA Fauna is you have complete freedom to choose whatever model you want to work with. So GPT-5 has been pre-selected, but you can click on this selector and you have access to a lot of different models and a lot more image models. I'll show you that later as well. But in this case, we can choose between Claude, Gemini, and GPT. So let's keep GPT-5 for this, and yes, let's give it a try. I like kind of the visual cues you get, like it's extracting information from this image, and then it's trying to build design studio names. Okay, so we get Prism Melt Studio, Hollow Cascade, Neon Parallax, Chromatic Drift, and Iridescent Grid. That's interesting. So Chromatic drift. I think chromatic drift sounds quite cool. So let's stick with that. I guess the next step is we need to create a logo. So we can do the exact same thing again. We drag a line from our reference image, and now we want to create an image. Okay, so just a very simple prompt, and let's see which image model we want to use. So there are a lot of different options. I guess let's try to keep GPT for now. And but what we can do is that we actually want to see a few suggestions. So instead of just generating one, we can choose. Okay, the scale goes really up to 20 in this case, but just keep in mind that it spends credits the more you generate. So let's try to keep it at 4, and let's go with this. And you see immediately we actually get 4 of these blocks, and you can see the process of these logos getting generated. And I think it looks really cool. And in the meanwhile, let's just name our project Chromatic Drift. You can see the Q here at all times. Okay, we have our first suggestion, Chromatic Drift Design Studio. Chromatic drift. Okay, it really almost uses the context as the background. And the last one is ready. Okay, it's a bit difficult to see because of the black background. Yeah, but it's creating this artwork. Okay, so we have some suggestions now, and it's definitely not where we want it yet, but that's also the entire point, because what FLORA Fauna wants to achieve is to maintain the human creative freedom. So we get something out of something, and then we can iterate on that, if that makes sense. So we can now continue this process and take whatever we like the most and keep working on that towards something that's actually usable as a logo for our design studio. Okay, so let's say that we like this version, but want to keep working on it to change it, basically, because I personally think it's nice, but it's not so. I mean, it's a bit dull. Like it needs to be a bit more, maybe a bit more photorealistic, or a bit more like the Apple liquid glass or something, which is I guess pretty trending at the moment. So we can say we want to use this as sort of the starting point. So now we've gone from like a random bag to a logo, and now we want to improve on this logo. So so we can essentially create more versions from this. So let's go with image again, and I guess we'll keep GPT image for now, and then let's try to write the inspiration from Apple liquid glass, background, vivid colors, and realistic. Okay, something like that. And then we again get 4 iterations or versions of this, and let's see. Okay, so we have some options. I mean, this obviously doesn't have the text, but it does look pretty cool. I think this one is also quite cool. And I think we'll actually use this and then basically just say that we would like a text with this style. Okay, so I'm just gonna try to make an iteration with this material and basically have it create a logo from this material with the text chromatic drift. using this material, but only typography, so no graphics next to the text. So the text is made from the material with vivid colors, and it should be nice and modern typography for a design studio. And then I'll just add transparent background as well. And let's do 4 versions as well. And let's see. We have the first iteration, first version, next one. I kind of like this one, but it should be a bit more vivid. So let's just try to do an iteration on this. So we go here and then we create an image. And I guess you start to get a sense of sort of the flow you end up with when using FLORA Fauna. So you start from this really random image, and or you don't have to start from an image specifically, but I just chose to do that in this case. But then you get through all these sort of chains of iterations, like you drift through these chains of iterations. Okay, so 3 of them are done. Let's take a look. They're really starting to improve. Wow, okay. I almost don't know what to choose. I think I prefer this one. So here it's in full screen. So we choose this one as the official logo of our new design studio, Chromatic Drift. So now we've gone through this flow to end up with this logo. So let's first go ahead and just have the quick edits function here. Let's just upscale it just so we have the highest quality possible of the logo. Okay, so we have the upscaled version, and we can also see it again in full screen. Looks really crisp and nice. Okay, so imagine we now want to create a background, like a video background for instance, for a hero section for the upcoming website. So we want to keep it in the same style, of course, but instead of using the logo, I think I want to go back and actually use like maybe the original asset and then do something really smart that you can actually do in FLORA Fauna, which is combine different assets. So let's say I kind of like this one, but then I also just want to add in the inspiration from the original one. So what we can do is we can drag this from the original one and create an image, and then we can actually take this one and also connect it to this one essentially. So now what you'll see is that obviously they're all connected, but you'll also see that we have context of both. And then we'll first of all try to just create an abstract background. So we just write create abstract background, and in this case we're just doing it as an image, and we'll just use GPT image for this. And I think we should keep it in the same, like we'll do a horizontal style, and then we'll keep it with extremely detailed. Okay, so let's try to just create 4 of these, and as you see, it's visualized beautifully, so we get information flowing from both assets. Okay, so we get the first one. I think it's actually pretty cool. Let's see, we can drag the logo over here just to see how it works with the logo. Okay, well, the same style. This one is quite cool as well. Okay, I mean, we can use multiple, of course. I think they all work pretty well, but I think I will go with I think I'll go with this one for now. So we can drag this down, and then we can say, okay, Now we would actually like to create a video from this, and let's see. So I think we should try to use Sora 2. Add this one, and then write something like create naturally flowing abstract background. And then let's try to enhance the prompt. So smooth flowing abstract background. Okay, let's go with this and see. I'll only do one of these because Sora 2 is still quite expensive to use. And I think this will be a while, so I'll just cut and then be back when it's done. Okay, so I actually ended up generating 4 with Kling as well, because I don't think that the one Sora generated at least in this generation, was that nice. It's a bit weird looking, almost like liquid metal or something, and then yeah, it's very fast and not really suited as a background. So I'm not sure. I don't think that's anything with Sora. It's just this particular generation. So then Kling generated something more aligned with the input, maybe a bit extreme with the light, but otherwise pretty nice, especially in the beginning. So this is definitely something we can keep working on and improve even more, so it becomes this sort of loopable abstract background art. So I'm pretty satisfied with that. I won't work more on this now, but I think it's nice we have this as assets now that we can later keep working on. So next up, I think we should start working on some brand guidelines. So now we have some assets to begin with. We have some inspiration and a name. So let's try to create some guidelines. And what I will try to do is I'll take the logo, and then I will try to generate some text with this. And obviously this is just the logo, but we can also connect this to other assets that we think might be relevant. So let's drag this and connect it to let's connect it to this one as well. And let's see what else. Guess this one is nice too, and we can see if there's anything up here. No, I think these old assets. Will clean that later, although it's nice to also keep track of the history. I guess I just need to organize it. But actually I want to connect it to this one as well. Okay, so I think we'll use GPT-5 for this and write something like create brand, keep it clear, concise and structured. Okay, so let's just try with one version first and see what it comes up with. So now we see all the context flowing from these assets we've created into this text that's currently being generated. I think it's pretty fascinating to see all these connections. Okay, so we now have brand guidelines. Brand essence, purpose, visual innovations, studio exploring the space between color, light, and form. Liquid CD fused into a single blob silhouette. I'm not gonna double check these hex codes now. So obviously some of it is something that's made up as placeholder, and other things are taken directly from the assets. So let's try something new now. Now that we have the brand guidelines, I know we could obviously improve on these brand guidelines, but I think it's okay now as an example. So the last thing I want to show in this video is that we'll try to create some social media ads for our design studio. So let's try to basically create an image, and this I think should be Nano Banana would probably be good for this. We'll do it in, let's see, 9:16, so like vertical. And yeah, we'll keep this one, and then we will write create Instagram ad for design studio chromatic drift. And then let's also connect it to some of our other assets, like maybe this blob, and also, let's see, and also this one. Okay, so let's see what it comes up with when it has both the logo and some background material. And let's do 4 of these. Okay, that's a good start, I think. So it successfully figured out to combine it. I think this one actually looks pretty cool, the first one. So chromatic drift, where colors create possibilities. Kind of like that. This one is also pretty cool. Innovate, create flow. Yeah. Okay. I think there are definitely some good options here, and then we can of course keep iterating on those as well. Like if we say this one, we could tell it to add specific text, for instance, to this ad. So yeah, I think this is a pretty good beginning. So already now with very little work, very little manual work, but with a lot of human design direction, we can actually create all these assets. Because usually if you just use the tools from, say, ChatGPT or Gemini or something like that, then you don't really have the same control, because everything becomes this chat conversation. But here you can have a better visual overview of the iterations and how one thing leads to other. Like you can see the whole process essentially. And I know I need to probably organize it a bit better, but imagine you could create this huge flow of like a brand, for instance, where you see all steps involved in coming to the assets that you eventually end up with. So I think this is really cool, and I kind of like the look. It's not too far from our original inspiration, which was, yeah, again, this bag. So I kind of like that you can bring in these like real assets or even in just initial ideas, and then iterate from that and build something on this one thing that just sparks the entire thing. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. And once you're done, you can of course always like export all assets in high resolution. So you'll end up with all these assets. You can also explore sort of all your generations in the menu. If this video inspired you, please like and subscribe. And have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.